This has been, for me, an amazing conference, amazing speakers, amazing participants. So I want to thank all of you for being here, especially the fact that we are having this conference here in Washington, D.C. There is something about being in Washington here when I reflect on what the speakers have been saying. It has a different pertinence, and I think as I say these final words, concluding words, I am very much aware that we need to continue the work right here in Washington. There was a time in which I thought that we can achieve peace maybe working back home. Now I'm convinced that that maybe we need to work here more and more. And if it doesn't work here, there is only one other place that then we need to begin to put all of our energy towards, and that is we need to try to empower the United Nations and take this conflict back to the United Nations. Because the conflict belongs there. The Americans and maybe other powers have tried to strip it from the United Nations because they had their own different interests. But it doesn't work. We don't have peace. And I think we need to go back to the United Nations. I'm reminded here of an incident that happened with Jesus, actually in a territory today in southern Lebanon. But he was presented, and we don't know who presented to him. He was presented with a man who was deaf. And the gospel says that this man had an impediment in his speech. Jesus took this man to the side, put his fingers in his ears, and said, "Iffata," an Aramaic word that means be opened. And we read in Mark that the man was able to speak. And then we read that he was able to speak plainly. This is a wonderful word. It's not only to speak, but to speak plainly. Now, I think we need to continue because there are so many impediments. And before people are able to speak or act, they need to hear. Once they hear the message clearly, they can begin to speak. We've been talking about so many impediments in the different speakers who were presenting their words. And indeed, now we know all the impediments. Somehow, we're still up against many people who cannot hear the message. And this is the challenge that I think we have. We must continue to open their ears and to witness to the message of justice and peace. One thing I was reflecting on during this weekend, how can we move this conference forward? We created so much energy in this conference. I could feel the energy. We probably have had the best speakers in any one of the Sabeel conferences. And we've had 28 of them. This is the 28th regional conference of Sabeel in the last 6.5 years. But the energy that was gendered in this conference is amazing. But how can we keep the fire burning? How can we keep this energy as we look forward? I would like to say no more analysis of the situation. We've had enough. The Arabic word is khalas. You know it all. Khalas. I don't think anyone is able to have more analysis about the situation. We've analyzed the situation from all aspects, from all angles. We know it. The challenge, can we take what we have done and somehow translate it into a strategy that can work